take you back further than the Awabakal Co-op. Simple, right? Because it came from what we set up and put up prior to becoming a co-op.
We weren't very strong those days, were we?
No.
We were battling to get there.
You had to battle.
You know, we were crawling step by step by step to get up to the top of that ladder. It took a long time. You don't do it overnight. I don't know how long. It all started off in the 70s. Newcastle was a racist town too, years ago. Had to state racists out there, but there was a mix of people out there, multicultural. No, there was no voice then. No one was up fighting for Aboriginal people. It's a long story and I can't remember how we all met. Then we decided that, hey, it's time to do something for Aboriginal people.
In the early 1970s, a group of locals started the Newcastle Aboriginal Advancement Society, an informal community organisation delivering cultural activities and raising issues and discussions relevant to the Aboriginal community. This group evolved later into Awabakal Newcastle Aboriginal Cooperative Limited. Awabakal commenced business in 1975 before being formally registered in February of 1977. It was driven by a small group of dedicated and supportive locals.
So we said we're going to do something, just like that. My father come home with this fellow, George Griffith. Met him in town, in Hamilton there somewhere. And George, they were blood, anyhow, related. And he was working at Redhead coalfields, our coal mine. I heard about Bill and Bob and all this happening and all that. He said, that's good, he said, very good. He said, what other things that could happen here can we do and that sort of thing, right? Yeah, and Pop said, well, they'd been helping people get houses, been helping people this and fighting discrimination, getting the land back for all that. So old Griff came out home and we sat up all night and that's where it grew. That was the very beginning.
With the Awabakal Cooperative's formal registration in 1977, a number of key goals and aims were established. Hold cultural camps, establish health centre, reclaim the sacred sites, establish an Aboriginal preschool. Along with these goals, Awabakal was to provide services in the areas of employment, culture, health and welfare, sport, housing and education.
We were like volunteers, but it wasn't like we were volunteering. It was like we loved the job. We wanted to do it. We wanted to look after people. We wanted to pick them up and bring them into the medical centre and do all that, you know, because we felt that they had a future that they wanted to achieve and that we were there to work behind them to help them achieve those goals that they wanted.
And then sometimes the hospitals, you'd have an appointment, you'd sit, so if you had an appointment at 10 o'clock, 4 o'clock you'd be still sitting in the hospital waiting for those appointments, till I got up then and had a few words to say to them about it. And then I went in once and had problems, and they sent me straight out to the desk to make another appointment. Well, I stood at that desk for I don't know how long, and all these white fellas come out, helped them, made appointments, and it was, I think, 5 to 4, she looked up at me, and I said, no, keep looking down your nose. I said, because I've been standing here this long. I said, and you know what you can do with your hospital, and you know what you can do with your appointment? And the doctor came out, he said, oh, what's going on? I said, I've been sitting here all this time, and I said, not one of those white ones out there lifted their heads to see what I wanted. So I said, you know what you can do with your hospital? I had to say something. We go to these doctors and like I said, you'd wait and wait and wait for your appointment. So I said, that's why we got in then to try to get this medical centre for Aboriginals alone, so that they could come in and they didn't have to wait.
Anyway, this was back in the 1970s. A few of the elders all got together and decided that we wanted a medical centre. in Newcastle. And there was a lot of us from out here and Lake Macquarie went in there, and we used to have our meetings, different houses, different families, and the yarns and the ideas, and is the best place where you get the good bright ideas and could see we were planning for the future.
The Awabakal Co-op runs a comprehensive range of community services, including primary healthcare service, preschools and various community programs essential for the local Aboriginal community.
So Awabakal operates across 5 different sites, and traditionally Awabakal has always offered medical services, children's services, elder services and transport. What we're trying to do now at Awabakal is grow those services internally. What we're trying to do is build a foundation, or build on a foundation that's been built over a long period of time by a lot of very important people of the Newcastle community. Awabakal is really well placed right now to be the leading organisation in New South Wales, and I believe we can do that. We can do that because we offer quality care. We offer not just medical services, but a range of services that support Aboriginal people through their whole life journey.
This Awabakal Co-op today, way back where it grew from and came from, was a beginning of everything that's happening today, and a lot of things grew from that.
Find the right language when you're talking to your community. I've recently heard people call people walk-ins. Our people are not walk-in and should never be seen that way. Find another word, another way to express that. Because we are Aboriginal people, our doors have always been open for Aboriginal people, and we must never forget that.